Good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your SPDR ETF wrap-up for this Tuesday, the 26th of October. I almost said November there, October 2021. Now, I'm going to be leaving on vacation actually on Thursday. I intend on putting out updates for you from time to time while I'm gone. I won't be in them, but we can do the review. I have the technology to do it from where I'm at, assuming the internet connections are good. I'm going to Mexico, so you just never know, all right? And we'll see just how that is. If it's good, you can count on it. I will be doing these. What the time Linn says them, I don't know. I'm on vacation, but I will enjoy. And even on vacation, I don't like to come back and take a week to catch up on things. I like to do it, but I'm not going to write detailed newsletters. I'll talk trading. Why not? The markets don't stop. Why should I? All right. Big breakthrough. They're about to say kids 5 to 11 can get their COVID shots. This so reminds me, I've got gray hair, been around a long time, polio shots when I was young, and people were fighting it. I'm not giving my kids polio, and that's basically what a vaccine is in some form or the other. You're doing that, I guess, is the way to look at it. Is there a big city from New York, Chicago on, where the police and the fire people are not arguing with the mayor? I don't want to get my shot. You're not going to dock me pay. I know in Chicago it's a monster battle. Airlines are having the problem. But the simple fact is, and I warned you, the ostracism comes in this. You have the right to not get a vaccine. You don't have the right to be around other people who don't want you near them because you're unvaccinated. I think that's pretty fair. So if you want to lose a job over it, that's your right. But I don't see how you can be on an airline. What if you're in the pilot and the other pilot doesn't want to sit next to you? I get that. What if you're been assigned, you're in a patrol car and the other patrolman with you, I love him, but he's not vaccinated. I don't want to work with him. How do you get away from that? Okay, in Chicago, we're still wearing the masks. That's probably going to come off in the next 10 days from what I can see in the news. And boy, we have all been wearing them, but it's a good city with that. You don't really have the fights. You know, early on we did. Oh my God, it was in the news all the time. Fist fights, suing, threats, blah, blah. Not anymore. You know, what happened is the whole city embraced it. So if you don't do it, you feel strange. That's what's going on with that. Now, we're in earnings season. You got to pay big time attention to that. What else is happening? On Thursday, President Biden is going to be leaving for, I think it was a G20 summit, if I'm right, going on, and this big climate convention going on in Scotland. Okay, do you think energy prices are going to explode in front of that? Use your head. They could, of course, but I don't think the logic is going to do that. So pay attention to what's obvious sometimes in the marketplace. Tesla took off, pulling back. I wonder why it's breaking back there. Why didn't it just go again? Well, there is a gap in the chart the market might want to fill. When you take a look at the chart action, you're certainly in an uptrend. You came out of tight congestion, but basically an uptrend. The market never was just going sideways. As we take a look, it's been over the 18-day average, which has now got a new bullish development. You're going to say, what can happen after that rise? Well, for the first time, the 100-day moving average of closes is saying, I'm joining the party. It just crossed over the 200. So you have a classic bullish setup in terms of moving averages. You have the shorter term 18 over the 100, the 100's over the 200, and I know there'll be an element of you out there talking about the 50-day too. I get it. So why the pullback? Well, you're 2 days in a row over the upper Bollinger Band. Here's what I think's about to happen. You're moving to the right-hand side to get back in it. Now, when you put the Bollinger Bands on the chart, you do get to see the congestion that the market was developing. It was tight range. Overall, still pointing upward slightly, but accelerated to the upside all of a sudden. Be careful if you lose the embedded reading. That'll be a sign the market wants to pull back and over time quickly try to get back to that 18-day average of closes, wherever that number comes in. That would be the sign. It hasn't done it. It's a warning sign. Why? Momentum often leads price. If you take a look at Apple, so Apple hanging in here, bullish embedded reading. Until the red line closes under 80, again, you fell back. I still have a target of that upper Bollinger Band. Why not? Lose the reading and then momentum saying, okay, maybe the market's going to drift back down into this support. Don't. And I see the market still hanging in there, trying to get up towards that number. ARK, Kathy Wood's in the news. Boy, she's just gobbling up a lot of things other people don't want. It served her well. September was Kathy Wood's anti-month. This is the plus Kathy Wood month. What a rebound. I mean, if you came in at 105 and you're at 123, you had an 18% bounce in round figures. What the heck? That's a pretty big bounce where I went to school. I'm paying attention, but I also think it ran its course. Why? Take a look where the 200-day average is. Look at the upper Bollinger Band. You first stalled out when you went to the 100 with that. You played around. There was one more average, and that's it. So am I bearish? Absolutely not. Do I think it's time to take money off the table? That's what I think the pros are doing. In XLI, as long as you keep the embedded reading, things are fine. Take out 104.30 and you keep your eye on that. That could be the rollover that carries the market back into here. But there's something more important going on. Even if you pull back, this 18-day average of closed trajectory acts like it wants to get over the 100. So as bullish as that is, it could get more bullish. And that makes sense. If we come out of the COVID, and I know it's going to be the winter time, and you're going to tell me it doesn't matter. Well, it sets up a pretty strong spring. Have you gone into a store and looked at the shelves? Have you tried to buy things online? One of my favorite is Wayfair. Go to Wayfair and look at how many items are out of stock. Now, you know a lot of their stock comes from Asia, not necessarily just China. All right? Take a look. Those items are going to be refilled. There's plenty of business there. That's why I mentioned the industrial sector. I don't think it's falling apart by any stretch. Then the semiconductor. When you were down here, I gave my whole dissertation. If you're going to tell me about a company or a sector that has a 2-year backlog, they can't catch up, that backlog keeps growing because everybody wants products they can't get because of it, and they don't have the ability to just pick up production immediately. They have pricing power, they have an order book. You want to be short something like that? You'll get corrections, but that's what they are, corrections. In cannabis, you're back down to the lower band. I don't think you'll go much under that, but this was the noise. You knocked out the bear trend by getting this rally right through here, and you had no leg at all. You couldn't even carry to the upper Bollinger Band. That's what you want to see. You want to see if there's a shift in the momentum. You got none whatsoever, and the market's right back down into the major support. And yes, I think that if you were with me, the elbow would go in your side like that, and I'd say, time if you are short. I'm not saying you are. That's where I think the pros are going to cover some shorts. As we take a look at XHB, the housing sector, did you even look at today's new home numbers? They're out of control. So are prices. You know the median price of a home is what, $408,000? Who can afford that? The young kids out there? I don't think so. This is serious stuff that's going on, yet that number keeps going. Now, certainly the biggest demand is going to be for homes 300,000 and under. You can read that, and I wrote about that in my written full research today. But important to pay attention. Could this market roll right here? Yeah, real easy. If you see the red line get under 79, it probably means you want to come back and challenge this. But again, what do you see on those moving averages for you to think ahead? You're coming up to a factor where the two are going to kiss each other. Could happen tomorrow, where the 18 gets to the 100. Will it be able to get over and stay over it? That's going to be the key. If it falters there and slips back, then price will fall back into that. If it doesn't, watch out. That should be very important. Energy sector. I put on my thinking hat today, which is very small, by the way. And I just said, is it time to belong energy in front of this conference? I got my doubts. I mean, the logic just says they're all attacking it, and then you want to give them food for thought with, let's assume you go to $90 crude while everybody's together. That's probably not going to happen. That's just my thought. Could be wrong. Emerging markets, big resistance. Right here was the first challenge of the combination of the 100-day average and the Bollinger Band. That's where the pros come out. It just adds more fuel. They want to step out. You'll probably on the opening lose the embedded reading if the red gets and closes under 79 tomorrow, but I think you'll get under that number on the opener, which sets up a potential to get back to 51.22. To prove me wrong, you got to get back over this 52.44 level, setting up the next move to 53.13 to 53.48. The money was made, though. Look at the bull trend while you were embedded, and it's still embedded. I'm giving you the what if. Right now, if you take a gun to my head, until that red line's under 79, I'm still very friendly in the market. If you take a look at gold, I wanted this break. So this is the break that I've been hoping for. You don't want to buy that. You want to let it come down and give you a new set of whatever reasons, maybe against the 18-day average. It's very difficult to buy against the 100-day, the 200-day, and the first challenge of the Bollinger Band together. You generally get thrown back. GDX is different. Why? It's going to look through the fog. It's going to say, okay, gold can correct, but is there any real downside? If there isn't, why should I fall apart? I've got the mineral in the ground. I'm the miner, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that doesn't mean it's going anywhere on this right now. Keep your eye on this, but I do think this is stronger than the future side. In COPEX, I've been looking for the market to get back on the futures to the 18-day average. You lost your embedded reading here as well. It took a little longer. Here you come down. You lost it right there, Friday. Get out. That's how I teach. It doesn't mean I'm right. And boy, I looked pretty stupid up until today, and I still look stupid. Not unusual. Why did the market hold on? Notice how the 18 got over. Watch how the moving averages here are going to work. Watch this red with the 36.99. It's going to cross over. That happened Monday. So that means the pullback in the market, even if it comes in, probably doesn't have a lot of leg to it. You're getting friendlier and friendly moving averages, trying to get setups here that make some sense. TLT, market has got momentum up, trend up with today's action. Now the market fell back. I want you to look at this. Had a very narrow day, and this was Monday. You got up today, setting off higher lows, higher highs. Target, up here, the 146.59, the 146.62 level. Support 144.03, and I won't know what I'm talking about if you immediately hit 143.62, taking out that low. Last, FXE. Had the rally, back to the 18-day average to regroup. So you'll notice we talk momentum so often. I don't know why it's evolved that way, but the more I learned about momentum, the Bollinger Band, the slow stochastic, tying them together, a whole new thing opened for me. And I want to tell you, this has evolved in the past year and a half. So I don't want to give you the impression this is old, something that I worked with. It really got aggressive when I decided to tie in spiders, stocks, and ETFs. I had never done that with it. Once I did, my eyes blew wide open. If you'd like to learn more about Bollinger Bands, not what you think you know, not the basic of what a Bollinger Band is, look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, If you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.